Well, hello, and welcome again to the 2012fad.com. I will be your host for this evening, and my name is Charlie Bluehawk. Last night, we talked about lack of oxygen, cancer versus AIDS, or it should be more correctly, cancer equals AIDS, and how it is the lack of oxygen, as well as the lack of a strong magnetic field, that allows all these truly horrifying natural or man-made diseases to attack us, and how we allow ourselves to become victims by deliberately poisoning ourselves with fast food, smoking, drinking, drugs, legal or otherwise. And honestly, this is something that we cannot directly blame our masters for. We do this to ourselves. And the thing about our masters, and goes back ancient times when you make a deal with the devil, it's always in writing. Our masters always tell us what they're about to do to us. Always. It's sometimes hard to find. I still remember, and we've talked about this before, I found it on the page 3 of the New York Times in about 1 column inch, stating that FEMA was making a legal announcement that in the event of an emergency, you were on your own. They weren't going to help you. And yet, according to, when you do a deal with the devil, everything has to be in writing. So, in defense of the masters, they always tell us what they're about to do to us. And it's our fault we don't actually do anything. Anyway, tonight I thought we would chat about, do automatons dream of electric women? Or more specifically, and thus, less colorfully, are the automatons that are sharing our world with us evolving? I ask this because it occurs to me that the automatons, these computer programs, these subroutines, whose job it is to provoke us, you and me, to take certain paths in our lives here in this world, real or not, paths we should or should not take while we are here. Is it possible that these automatons, these software programs, these subroutines inside of the universe could actually be evolving on their own? Now, I vaguely remember one of the Matrix movies covering this. I think it was Mr. Smith, one of the automatons they talked about there, was evolving, and he just got mad because old Neo kept beating the crap out of him. Can't argue with that. And perhaps, and this is again just a question, is it the evolving automatons who are causing all the problems in our world that we are experiencing now as part of their original programming, which was to provoke us into some kind of action? From our past conversations, I think it is safe to say that our masters, the elite, the Committee of 300, the Olympians, do not think like we do. We appear to be a totally different form of life from our masters, including the fact that their blood chemistry is based on copper, which gives them blue blood. Well, our blood chemistry is based on iron, which gives us blood that is red. Now, you don't even have to argue with this. This is a proven fact in medicine. And once again, your local reference librarian is your very best friend in the world. Go ask them about blue bloods, about copper-based blood, humans, and iron-based blood, humans. We are actually two different races of people. I mean, that alone, should stop you dead in your tracks. I mean, besides sharing the same basic physical appearance, though I do have to admit that most of our masters look like bread dough that's been left out to raise, way too long, we have nothing in common with this other race of people who control us, our masters. They worship Satan. They kidnap, program, rape, torture, skin, and eat our children alive. I mean, right there, that stops all possibilities that we can ever communicate with these people. They plan to burn to death all life on earth, and then to use that sacrifice to summon their god, Satan, back to earth to sit on the throne. And again, doesn't matter what you and I think. Doesn't matter if you and I believe in God or Satan or Buddha or Muhammad. It doesn't matter. They do. Then our masters plan to rise up against their own God, capture him, throw him down. That should be fun to watch. And to rise themselves up, take over the throne of earth, and make themselves gods. How is it possible for us to think that we can reason with these people? They believe that this is possible. They're planning it. How can we ever, as I say, have a meeting of the minds with these folks? They have no regard for the planet we all live on. They have no regard for our feelings, our needs, our lives, our children. They have no regard for the health or the welfare of the planet we share together. How is that possible? Do they know something that we don't? That perhaps this actually is an artificial world, a computer program, and that it is not, after all, real. So if it's not real, do anything you want to it. We die, we're booted out of the program, we go back to being 19 years old at university. It's a pass-fail at that point. Did you pass the course of living for 90 years in an artificial world? Did you learn what you were supposed to learn? I honestly don't know. I've just seen way too many things in my life, I'm 52, that I just can't ignore anymore. And I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke. I'm disgustingly healthy. And I've gotten so many of the regular poisons out of my system that you get from eating the food at the grocery store. We've covered this, of course, before. That all of the hallucinations that those poisons that were fed deliberately cause to our minds. Because our masters know, poison the body, you poison the mind. So all of those chemicals are out of my system. And I see things that nobody else seems to notice. And that really worries me. I mean, for example, many reports about aliens. And, I thank the goddess every single day that I have no direct knowledge of aliens. I know way too many creepy things. So if you're a little gray person, please don't come up into the street and say hi to me. I just can't deal with anything else. Please don't. But all these reports you hear about aliens, the little gray aliens, they state that they treat human beings like balloons, like empty skins, and that they will pop those balloons as if they were nothing. That's kind of creepy. Now I can see popping automatons, after all, the master program, and there's that word again, the master program, will simply restore them, reboot them, pull them out of memory, and recreate them. But to pop a human being as if they were nothing, a skin? Again, do the aliens, the computer virus, do they know something that we don't know? And it always, for me, gets back to the very gay bodybuilder I saw get onto the same bus in Wellington, New Zealand, twice in a row, within a 5-minute period of each of themselves. At that point in time, I honestly didn't want to know anything else about our world. I really didn't. I didn't want to know anything else. But the exact same guy got onto the exact same bus twice in a row within 5 minutes, did the exact same thing, went to the back of the bus. And I deliberately did not turn around to look. I didn't want to know if there was one of them back there or two of them back there. It just never seems to end. And that is something, I can't ignore it, which is why it's part of our discussion here today. We've covered it in previous episodes. Now, it is true, our masters, the smart masters, plan is to descend into the surface of the earth and live in their megacities with their armies of custom-bred human slaves. But then what? If they achieve their goal of becoming gods, which is, I'd like to actually see that, they become gods and they leave behind the earth. That, I could sort of understand, sacrifice the earth, no big deal, we're leaving anyway. But one of their own kind, a writer by the name of H.G. Wells 100 years ago, foresaw their future. Trapped in their megacities under the earth, unable to escape for generations, they de-evolve into flesh-eating man-apes. Not my opinion, one of their own kind, one of the masters, foresaw this. And it's like, and I apologize for the pun, it's like our masters have a pre-programmed destiny of their own, and they just can't divert from it. A pre-programmed destiny. Just for fun, let's look at the quintessential Mandarin class, a servant, a favored servant of the masters, Dr. Henry Kissinger. Dr. Henry Kissinger, a German, a Nazi, a U.S. citizen, a power behind the throne of several White House presidents, and is today a consultant. So powerful that he makes the plans that govern all the other mandarins throughout the Western world. Now, Dr. Henry Kissinger has referred to us, the cattle, you and I, as useless eaters. Now, again, when you're right, you're right. I'll give him that one. 98% of humans are cattle. We are just useless eaters. So let's give credit where credit's due. Now, Dr. Henry Kissinger has also been the architect of so many massacres of us, so many wars killing us, so much human carnage that there are actually many countries he simply can't visit because there are actually arrest warrants out on him. He'd be arrested and put in prison for crimes against humanity.